Good afternoon, everyone. Before I start, can we please give Emily and the Clarkston Chamber a huge round of applause for this incredible event? I'm so honored to be standing here today surrounded by a sold-out crowd of just incredible women, powerful, inspiring, gifted females. It's incredible. I'm so honored. As Emily stated in her oh-so-sweet intro, I just wanted to soak that in for a second. As Emily stated, my name is Liz Banks, and I have spent my entire career helping people grow. I started in education where I was a teacher, I was a basketball coach, I was an athletic director, assistant principal, and a principal. I was actually a principal during COVID, but that's a whole different talk. After I retired from education, as Emily stated, I started my own business where I do mentoring and wellness coaching for teenage girls. I just saw this huge need for our incredible young women to have opportunities to grow and to be empowered. That kind of expanded into doing a lot of work with athletes and with sports teams. In addition to that, I work with this incredible company called Strength Advisors. It's a woman-owned company, and we work with corporate leaders. We work with corporations across the country, across the world actually, but where we do one-on-one coaching calls, we work with workshops where we look at strengths development, employee engagement, emotional intelligence, because that's an important one in the business world, crucial conversations, and well-being. I tell you all of that not because I want to list my resume. I tell you that because I want to explain that my life's work has met at this intersection between leadership, empowerment, and development. So when Emily asked me to do this keynote, I was thrilled to have the opportunity to pour into and connect with this incredible group of women, because I believe the opportunity to shift our thinking about what success looks like is so important. Because the one thing that I have found to be true, no matter what space I work in, is that real success is never a solo act. It's built through relationships, it's built through connection, and through collaboration. And yet, haven't we been told the opposite? That to get ahead, we have to outwork, outperform, outshine everyone else? But that mindset, it actually keeps us isolated, and it shrinks our potential. That's why today's theme, collaboration over competition, really resonated so deeply with me. It's not just a catchy phrase, it's a mindset shift. Ironically, when I told my family the theme today, they actually laughed out loud at me. They did. I have been competitive my entire life. I work hard, I push limits, I chase excellence. I've been called an overachiever, a perfectionist. Some people even call me intense, which I think is a little bit of a stretch, but maybe at times. So yes, I love to compete. It's part of who I am. But here's the difference. I don't believe being competitive means being cutthroat. Let me say that again. You can be competitive without being cutthroat. And a lot of the people who came up here are incredible sponsors. All shared that. There's room for all of us. So here's the one thing that I want you to remember, that there's room for all of us. It doesn't have to be just one person at the top. We can certainly cheer each other on as we go. Because the truth is, we're much better and we can be ambitious and collaborative, driven and supportive, bold and generous. See, the fact is my entire family is extremely, extremely competitive, like wildly competitive. I was a college basketball recruit. My husband played Division I college soccer. My oldest played Division I college basketball and is now training to be a professional athlete. My youngest was highly recruited for college football. Even my brother-in-law, guys, he played in the NHL as a professional hockey player. So let's just say like game night at the Banks house, it's intense. And oh, you should hear the trash talk during Uno. If my kids want to invite friends over, I'm always like, did you warn them about us? So I tell you that because performance and the drive to win, that's fine. But while we all love to compete, we need to think beyond that. So if any of you are familiar with the Gallup-Clifton Strengths, ironically, as much as I love to compete, competition isn't in my top 5. Achiever and developer are, though. And I tell you that because I can be driven, and I am, and still focus on how to develop and grow other people. Because I believe that's the sweet spot, where ambition is paired with empowerment. Because the future of business leadership isn't about who gets there first. It's about who you bring with you. So today my goal is to help you shift your thinking from winning by beating somebody else to winning by being the best version of who you are. And in the process, lifting those around you, specifically other women. This idea isn't just something I believe, it's something I've lived. For over 20 years, I coached basketball. So I mean, the practices, the games, the championships, the competition was constant, and I loved it. And one of the things that I found through all of that was that, and one of the things I now work with, whether it's with schools, whether it's with sports teams, or whether it's with corporate leaders, is that mental toughness that you gain can give you that competitive edge, but you want to work beyond that. You want to take that and go to the next level. Because what I've learned in all those arenas, that real edge, it doesn't come just from skills or grit or hustle. Those things matter, and you know you need them. But it's more than that. It comes from collaboration, the kind that builds and drives performance. It comes from the clarity on your strengths, knowing what you do and how you bring, what you bring to the table and how you can help others. And it comes from culture, an environment where people feel seen, valued, and where it's safe for them to contribute. Yes, competition has its place. I still love to win, just ask anybody who's ever played anything against me. But the best wins, the ones that matter, and the ones that last, they don't come from going it alone. They come from being a part of something bigger than yourself. And let's be honest, doing it all alone is exhausting. I'm looking at a room full of women that I know have tried to wear every hat, carry all the weight, and prove yourself at every turn. But I'm going to tell you this, ladies, that leads to burnout, not breakthroughs. But when you walk with others, when you share ideas, when you lift voices, and when you open doors, you impact multiplies. Across every space, athletics, business, leadership, life, family, one truth holds steady. We are better when we work together. So let me share an example. A few months ago, I was on a coaching call with one of my corporate clients. She's a GM it's an international franchise, a really big company. And this woman is incredible. She is driven, she's detail-oriented, she is beloved by her team. She's really a fantastic, fantastic woman. But she had hired her new second in command, and it wasn't working out. Deadlines were being missed, like balls are being dropped, and she's like, Liz, I just can't count on her. I think I maybe hired the wrong person. So I asked her, where are you creating space for her to lead? And there was this long pause. And then she admitted that she wasn't, not really. And because here's the problem. The woman I work with is so driven, and she wants such perfection all the time, that she was constantly taking things back over, as opposed to teaching and developing her new second in command. So we worked together on a different approach, and she started really delegating with intention, communicating with clarity, and collaborating instead of trying to control it all herself. And what happened was incredible. Her number two stepped up. She was more confident. She was more engaged. And the entire team turned around, which of course meant there was more productivity as well, which of course is always good. But with that, and maybe even more importantly, my GM, the woman I work with, she found herself and her leadership able to have multiplied her impact. Why? Because she wasn't trying to do it all alone. She got out of the weeds, and we're all in the weeds at times. Every business owner is, right? We all have to get down in there. But there are times where we need to be at that 1,000-foot view so that we can see the bigger problems, so we can address those more strategic decisions. And when she stopped trying to control everything, empowered her number two, she was able to make those higher level decisions. And it completely turned around her entire organization. See, if you're a high achieving woman, And I know I'm looking at a room full of them right now. You know that you can't do it all yourself. You just can't. Leadership is not about control, ladies. It's about trust. And trust is the foundation of collaboration. When we lead with collaboration, when we trust ourselves and trust others and give them real responsibility and support them as they grow, we don't lose control. We expand our influence. And this is the kind of leadership that scales, the kind of leadership that sustains and lasts. I want you all to take a deep breath. No, I mean it. Take a deep breath. And just for a minute, I want you to let go of that need to perform. Instead, I want you to look around this room. What do you see? Success, power, ambition? Absolutely. These are some amazing women in this room. But you also see possibility. Do you see a sisterhood? Do you see women who are not here just to build their business, but to support yours? Who can challenge you, champion you, mentor you, refer you? You may have heard Charlotte Whitten's quote, "Whatever women do, they must do twice as well as a man to be thought of half as good." We've lived that. At least most of us have. I bet every one of us in this room has, actually. I'm seeing a lot of nods, right? So we've worked harder, risen higher, and fought for our seats at the table. But what breaks my heart is that when we finally get those seats at the table, we look at other women as competition as opposed to collaboration. Ladies, we do not need to protect our seats. We need to build bigger tables. Being part of a, thank you. Being part of a strong chamber like this, it's more than networking. I mean, yes, we want to make connections, but what if we moved beyond, how can they help me grow, and started asking, how can I help her rise? That's collaboration, that's true leadership, and that's what changes industries and lives. There's an African proverb that I love that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Because when women support women, incredible things happen. So what if we stopped seeing each other as threats and started seeing each other as allies? What if we normalized cheering loudly for the women beside us, even when we're not where we want to be yet? Because someone else's success is not your failure. Their breakthrough, it doesn't block your path, it actually expands it. There's room for all of us to shine. So instead of climbing the ladder and pulling it up behind us, what if we held it steady for the next woman, extended a hand, and cheered her as she was rising too? Because that's how we lead. We lift as we climb. So how do you actually do this? Especially in a world where we're building businesses, hitting targets, chasing goals, and doing all the other things that women do. Because it's not just a theory, it's a daily practice, and it takes intention. So here are a couple powerful shifts that can turn these ideas into real life impact. 1, celebrate and refer other women. Do it loudly and do it often. Tag them on social media, talk them up in meetings, recommend them to your clients. Your voice has power. Use it to elevate others. Remember, their win does not take away from yours. 2, shift your mindset from how can she help me to how can I support her? Curiosity and generosity create momentum. So when you start with service, the results, and more importantly, those relationships will follow. And the third one, create a collaboration circle. Gather a small circle of 3 to 5 like-minded women who commit to meeting regularly. Celebrate wins together, exchange ideas, support each other through the challenges. Growth isn't meant to be a solo journey. And even the most successful, driven leaders have a circle they can count on. And if you admire a woman, tell her, refer her, lift her. We rise higher when we rise together. So ladies, today is not just all about networking, although that was awesome. It was so fun to meet. I met a lot of you before lunch today. But it was more than that. It's about redefining how we grow. Because collaboration over competition, it isn't just a catchy theme. It's a powerful strategy. It's a way of living. It's a way of thriving. It's how we rise and how we make room for the next woman to rise with us. So this year, let's choose connection over comparison, curiosity over judgment, and collaboration over competition. Let's stop dimming our own light and each other's. Let's stop fighting for the spotlight, and let's start building bonfires. Why bonfires, you might ask? Because bonfires do more than shine. They draw people in, they warm, they gather, they ignite, and they spread. Because together, ladies, we don't just shine, we blaze. Thank you very much.
I think we can all agree that that was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Liz, for spending your time with us here today.